in the Gompa, it's on page 7 in the little booklet that has the picture on the front. So we'll do this, then we'll pass over to Geshe, who will do refuge and bodhicitta. So the people at home should have it. Page 7, we're after. There we go, yes. From the heart of the saviour of the 100 deities of Tashita, on the peak of a cloud resembling a clump of extremely white fresh curd, King of Dhamma, omniscient Losang Dragpa, please come here together with your sons. In the sky before me on a lion throne, lotus and moon, my perfect pure guru smiles with delight. Supreme field of merit for my mind of faith, please abide for 100 eons to spread the teachings. Your holy mind has the intelligence that understands the full extent of objects to be known. Your holy speech with its excellent explanations is an ear ornament for those of good fortune. Your holy body is radiantly beautiful with glory renowned. To you who are meaningful to see, hear and remember, I prostrate. Pleasing drinking water, various flowers, fragrant incenses, lights, scented waters and so forth. Oceans of cloud-like offerings, both actually arranged and mentally emanated. I offer to you the supreme field of merit. Whatever non-virtue of body, speech and mind, especially those opposite to the 3 vows that I have collected from beginningless time, I confess each and every one with fervent regret from my heart. You strove for much learning and practice in this degenerate age and made your freedoms and richnesses meaningful by abandoning the 8 worldly concerns. Saviour, we sincerely rejoice in your extensive deeds. Perfect pure holy gurus from the billowing clouds of wisdom and compassion in the sky of the Dhammakaya, please let fall a rain of profound and extensive Dharma upon the receptacle of those to be subdued, exactly as they need. May whatever virtue I have collected benefit the teachings and all transmigratory beings, and in particular, may it cause the essence of perfect pure Losang Dragpa's teachings to shine forever. Mandala offering. Saji Poki Joshi Meto Traveling She Ne Yan Badi Sage Me By the merits of having offered this mandala to Lama Tsongkhapa and his 2 sons, may I, my family members, and all sentient beings be able to meet, practice, and actualize the teachings of the victorious one, Losang Dragpa, who had the morality of an eminently pure way of life, was courageous in the extensive conduct of the sons of the victorious ones, and accomplished the yoga of the 2 stages of supreme bliss and emptiness. Idam Guru Ratna Mandala Kamnirayatayami. By the force of having fervently requested in this way, hollow beams of white light are emitted from the hearts of the perfect pure father and sons, and combining into one enter my crown. White nectar, the colour of milk, flows from the opening of the tube of white light, cleansing all my sicknesses, spirit harms, negative karmas, obscurations, and their imprints without exception. My body becomes as pure and clear as crystal. So hold that in your mind while we recite the 5-line Megsama 3 times. That's on page 13. Me may say way techen chenrezi dream make and dupung malu chonse savida chicken bits of ginsong go Losang Tabe Shavla Sorwante Mitse de Chinshin Rizi Jimin Kimbe Wangwan Jambe Dubong Malin Jongzi Sangveda Gachin Kimbe Su Ginsong go Losang Tabe Shavla Sorwante Mitse de Chinshin Rizi Dream make Kempe Wangwan Jambe Yang Dubong Malin Jongzi Sangveda Gachin Kimbe Su Ginsong go
Losan Travi Shala Soa De Sanji Shodan Soju Chonung La Changju Bardu Dan Jabsun Dagi Chushe Jeban Dagi Rolam Pins Sanjin Drubar Sho Sanji Shodan Soju Chonung La Changju Bardu Dan Jabsun Dagi Chushe Jeban Dagi Rolam Pins Sanjin Drubar Sho Sanji Chetan Sojin Chonum La Changche Bardu Dan Kyabsun Dagi Chushe Jeban Dag Rolan Penshe Sanjin Drubar Shu Kangi Tuzini Zone Dawa Tamche Pambi Chere Tambi Chun Dunze Kwadam Jela Changze Lo Namo Laye Kedan Ludan Nujenge Chiban Dana Mi Kedan Danro Kunji Chanu Chizam Tamche Kedu Dagi Chuden To Good morning, everyone. Good morning, Sonjula.
Good morning. Good morning, Geshe.
Sanji Chomdindi. Chik Gongin das wrong Sanji Chomdindi Chik Gongin das.
So we're considering and meditating on the Buddha Shakyamuni.
Ani Sanji Chomdindi Tandangazuta Kundati Yobana Shinki, Shuktanti, Kundati Yobana Shinchi, Shugures.
So we're actually sitting like, or we are positioned like the Buddha Shakyamuni is.
Tenang Shinchi Nangazu Detubaina. Ani Susu Pita Chik Lutambu Chenra. Kamba Chitonche. Ani Lut Miki Desa to Kunyambu Chiyabana. Subu Javlon Machi Sade Maiba, Kunyambu Chin Detubana, and Susu Subudi, Yang Sisi Roj Chagres, Kalimeva, Gurimbu Devalia, and Kalimeva Chagres.
So if we're able to sit in like the posture of the Buddha Shakyamuni, and sitting with our back straight, for example, with our legs crossed, in the Vajra posture possible, then our body will be able to remain stable and straight, and will be able to remain and sit still without too much difficulty for quite a long period of time.
Any Chak Lavani de Subula Lux Jade Maimba Desik Pakayavana, Shalapa Bed Matubachin Devana. Ani Sambu Yungres, Ani Karsata P, Ani Lagba Yungata Tindiki, Ani Kanji Subodite Sang Yungres.
If we're able to place our two hands, and in particular our elbows, our arms, not too closely to one's body, but a little bit away from one's body, and then we'll be able to sit and now I have our body sitting in a relaxed way and in a very light way.
Teni laba yoma di suzuki tendanga tewa sigra ani tewe kaptu surajliya dos chini shana yagbu yores ten dos chini shu yores sanjin dos chini shu yores.
So if we're able to place our hands, especially our left hand, at the level of our navel, yeah? So if we place our hands at this level, then it's going to be in the same way that the Buddha Shakyamuni placed his hands.
The gyundeng suzupige nanlaya gomgyasar sebana ani bige jablok denti tubu yobayna an subud mandus chagres mandus chabayna gyunrimbu ya di devu yomares ani hajang traptana yan subu jalo mal londe yura chagros di ene bige tugrab de suzu kambige kambi chidding yoros kambi pigi jablok jora tugrab di tugrab sebayna ani diganla debayna ani kamba ni di pemu wala ra ta kamba pemu wala yon di jablok dendang ani kambi tugrab di chigba chabayna ani subudi kaptu chagres.
So if you were to make a meditation area at your home, for example, if we think about the positioning of our body we're on the cushion, yeah? So for example, if we make the area that is at the back of our body, if we make that a little bit too high and too hard, then it's going to be causing us to be falling forward and making it difficult for us to be seated for a long time. And likewise, if we make the back area of the cushion too soft or too low, then likewise, it's going to be difficult to sit for a long time. And then also in terms of one's feet and knees. So if possible, placing those feet and knees in a very even manner, then the body will be able to sit in a very even position.
Teta labayamadi, chayamadi, ani tewe zamlayabatan, ani kapkalaya, ani labay yebigi, ani sugishiti, labayamigi tila dusyawandi, ani temuni those two yungres. Those two yungres. The those jeni shuya di soundana, ani nyamjak shutang seti, nyamar shabikalaya, gom gabikalaya, ani shutang di chagores.
So if we place one hand, the left hand, at the level of one's navel, yeah, and then placing the 4 fingers of the right hand in the palm of the left hand, like Geshe indicated, yeah. And then finally, we have the 2 thumbs are going to be meeting together in the middle. So the 2 points of the thumbs are going to be meeting together. And we can understand that this position of the hands is going to be in meditative equipoise, yeah? So this is what they understand and describe as the equipoise when we're practicing our meditation.
Gom Gabi Kabdula, those any Zugu Sedi Tubaina, Sada Long Drodangi Tony, Goba Caber Changi, Yungures, the thing as the Shika Mugashiro, the Yungures, the Ganji.
So the purpose of placing the tips of the 2 thumbs together is really making a big difference when we speak in terms of the channels and the winds. So having your fingers and your thumbs placed in this position, it does make a big difference in terms of the winds and channels. We don't have to go into great detail about that today, but this is the purpose behind it.
Nanzuki Semgdu se Korajam sound down the and take up the layer to the Lugi any Zagnangi and a long Korajab Tanchi. Drogores, Nanzu Bena that Subunangi Zadi Yabu Mevana and Zala layer Bena Chag Gugadi Yabu Dromar was. 차 야부 마주나 간주 우 동네 제투고도 왔어. 그래. 차 야부 마주나 간주 남주 우라 아니 소소한가니 시약 년가 열었어. 디난싱기 아니 자 참문나로야 롱 조단치 용거레스. 텔레펠 아니 피기 자나라야 차 규발이 아니 차와치 아니 사그나노래야 롱조단치 용거레스 롱조단디 야부지메나 아니 셈디 꼬라게브니 상로탄디 용기요마레스 더 딘자 롱피기 아니 자라야 롱야분조야야 자그 고치드 찌려야 아니 투투고거레스라 자디 체데바이나 아니 롱조사가 자람디 체데바이나 롱조고 말아왔어 long manduna dinanjingi semgi chawachedi yungyo mare tu sidigi anzugu subigi ani iyong tsa khanga chu thyogoyaji nenga jisongores.
So when we think about the mind and our physical body, we can understand that mainly based on our physical body, we have the winds and channels within that physical body. And within those channels, those winds or lung in Tibetan, they're moving, they're going from one place to another. So for example, within our body, if our channels are not existing in a very convenient way or a comfortable way, then the blood flow is not also going to be flowing in a very easily way. It's not going to be moving around the body well. So, and this is also related to one's breath. So if the channels and the blood flow are not operating in a smooth way, then the breath or the winds are also not going to be operating in a smooth way. And in this case, if there are problems arising, then there's a danger of the life force ending and dying. So in particular, we can think of in terms of the subtle channels also. So those subtle channels where the wind and the blood flow are associated, if that wind is not flowing properly, then our conceptualizing mind is also not going to be flowing or operating well. So for example, if the channels, the subtle channels are broken or obstructed in some way, then that wind and that mental conceptualization is not going to be flowing well. So the point is that by having these two thumbs that are touching at the navel level, it's very important association linked with the winds and channels.
Dinza anzu gomge de kapdula dus tuyadi those in there the chik lamluk ra sammayimba khorang ya nenga chi chagores luksu sammayimba delia nenga chi chagores and those shugo ya delia nenga chigores.
So actually by having the two thumbs touching together, this is not just a custom or a tradition. There's actually very important reasons behind it.
그냥 비기 누구도 슉 전부 두스 두겨 말했어. 얘디 퀄리티기 양살아 슉 전부 두스 내봐이나 아니 살 뉴그를 뭐 팽가 말했어. 살람래야.
So if we hold out or if we press our thumbs together tightly, yeah, then this is or if we push together very strongly or tightly, this is actually going to be a little bit harmful, or it's not going to serve any benefit.
비기게 수부 참무지 되고야 르르지 되고야 수부 비기게 즉 잔네라 샤고야 참말로 아니 잘라 두고레스 라 사람디 약부직 망가야 라 수부 쪼조지 되라 소바다 즉 착부진 되라 소바체나 아니 수부는 게 빼나 빼나 착자로 진바이나야 누구로서라 디난신기 아니 롱로서 잘라야 디 야부차고 말이스 인자 수부르르진 수부라니스 샤고야 아니 디수 아니 곰개비 갑둘라야 내가 전부 차고스
If we are able to sit with a straight body in a relaxed way, then we will be able to allow the winds within the channels to flow in a natural way. So the paths of the winds are going to be very straight, yeah, allowing the winds to flow naturally. Whereas if the body is leaning one way or the other, or slumped forward or so forth, then the pathways of those winds, the channels, are not going to be flowing in the way that we want them to. They're not going to be flowing well. So this is why it's really important when we are engaging in one's meditation to think about the position of the winds and channels.
애들이 당연히 값 봐봐 산지 좀 된디 공구여 완사 아니 산지기 젠디 소솔라야 아니 시대바직 곰나 야부여레스
So now, at this time, we're visualizing the Buddha Shakyamuni. So when one is visualizing the Buddha Shakyamuni, it's important to consider that the Buddha is himself, with his eyes open, are actually seeing you directly.
건다디 다 먼저 공개비 가둘라 대한두시 난 산기다 아니 그냥 데리러 오지나 아니 산기기 간줄야 시 대와지 공비 가둘라 아니 산기기 차디 두스 여바치 라 차여마디 두스 아니 단진하지 이바디 안 두스 슈 대와치 두스 차도 두스 슈지 난치 아니 쟁기 아니 소수 비기기 소수기 민이라야 라 아니 산기기 쟁이기 아니 소수 민이라야 배 아니 시대와치 공바이나 야부여레스.
So if you're able to visualize, yeah, it is good if we can visualize that the Buddha Shakyamuni has got the seated with those hand positions that we mentioned earlier, with the left at the navel, and then the other hand holding upright, yeah, like indicated by Geshe. And then also, if we're able to visualize, like with the yeah, the thumb and fingers up, and then visualize that your eyes are looking at, and the Buddha is looking at you with the eyes open.
그래서 디크들이야 소수기 믹스는 마시고지 비기 아니 곰규기 아니 산기기 시레디 다가랑 일을 삼치니 믹 첸이 되바나 다가랑 라오지 믹려야 아니 샤리아게 레오요레스 라
Make the rewa karere. Rewa.
수수 레와스나 수수 믹난 딘 라오진 통투야게 레오요레스
Ale. So, the purpose of visualizing and having your eyes open is to see that we can generate the wish to see like the Buddha does in the same fashion of what the Buddha sees others. So this is the purpose of having our eyes open during this visualization meditation.
아니 셰레 디테스치 즈모모스 나고라
Simomo.
게모쇼이 남바로치
And
수술에 수술 때는 산지 수술 마 세니 아니 나서지 로보 편도 통이 지금 통한다 비기 게모쇼라라 어디 남바로치 sometimes
Yes. Sorry. when we visualize the Buddha's appearance, we visualize the Buddha's appearance as having something that's very happy or very joyous, like he's about to laugh, and we go into laughter. So this is like when we're with friends or among friends, then we're enjoying ourselves. We're about to feel like we're going to laugh. So this is the appearance that we're going to be visualizing of the Buddha Shakyamuni having.
다 직감에 뭐 송로 제대기로지. 감주 송로 제대기 아니 동그 남겨져라스. 계제시도 제대기 동그 남겨져라. 디다워라지. 아니 sounds.
So I think that the Buddha looks like his appearance. It looks like he's about to engage in conversation or engage in laughter and so forth, but having that joyous appearance.
이제 차 누시야디 야 춘책이 냠자세 그래서 산지기 최종양 고종인데 차 누시니 쉬고요래서 진짜 최송로 지기 감미송로 최송로 지기 소술라마 아니 산지기 최된로 지기 제가 한목에 산지 그 넘버 D 곰투바나 곰다스라 다 딘디지 곰다스
As we visualize and during that meditation, we think of the appearance as the Buddha is about to engage in teaching, in sharing the Dharma. So we make our meditation and understand that the appearance of the Buddha, it looks like he's about to engage in sharing the Dharma, sharing teaching.
그래서 다 당가 원이지 샘라 펜비기 최직 산지기 송어쇼 삼성기 산지기 딱 갈지 송로시기도 당이 샘라 펜비기 최직 송의 제마로 냠비기 아니 콜론지 케니 아니 산지 야 쿠지셴비 토니 아니 산지 테스트 곰다스라.
So we think that to ourselves, we reflect that, please make teaching to myself, please share the teachings of the Dharma with me. We think in this way as we reflect on the appearance of the Buddha, thinking it's so motivated, well, it's not, I don't feel right if you don't share that teaching of the Dharma with me. So we have this motivation when we are thinking, bringing to mind the meditation of appearance of the Buddha in front of us.
아니 다소수 어머님바이나 산기기 리기 부모 세기 마 소설이야 리기 부모 세기 리기 부모 슬라브신만 아니 송송냐바치 부이나 리기 부스 간지 산기 땅이 저 시기 계란 년쇼 세기 다직 땅송 삼비기 아니 메바직 제고가 사리스
Outside, yeah. If outside, if we are a male or female, if we're a female, we can think that the visualization is from a female Buddha, yeah, or a woman or female Buddha. And likewise, we can think if we're a male, then we can visualize that male Buddha, and then thinking that may I receive a teaching from one's respective type of Buddha. We can think of this aspirational prayer to receive a teaching from that specific Buddha.
그래서 드니 산기기에다 나는 삼로 대원대바다 동음문대바 직발에스 라디송라다 산기기 간주 삼로 대원대바다 동음문대바 직바인자 아니 딕바치
건데 행기스르다.
딕바치 개바포섬 소버치 랑셈 누용순드 든 산기 템바인스 어디송레스 라
So the Buddha himself said that we are all the same in wanting happiness and not wanting suffering. Yeah, we're all the same in this situation. So the Buddha himself mentioned not to commit unwholesome activities, only commit wholesome activities, and in order to subdue one's mind. This is the teaching of the Buddha.
랑간주 대원 되고 여반자 아니 대원 되고 여나 대위 규 개버주고 그래스 아니 동안 되고 매바나 동ар 규 대법방고 그래스 디송레스 라
So since we want to experience the happy, pleasant results, then we need to understand that the causes of the happiness is that of the virtue. And if we want to avoid that suffering or unpleasant situations, then we need to understand the causes of non-virtue.
그리다 딘자 산기게 지당기 지당기차니 야란 딕바 다 딕바 가정아주 미기요 주시에 대하게 아니 속지 초고 말이스 마지막엔 초고 말이스 지당기차니 드진 송구문도 왔어 라 아니 산기게 송당더디 계란기 동안 되고 매바인자 계란 동안 되고 매바인자 동안 문제나 동안 그규 제나 디그마레스 라 동안 그규 규사는 디그마레스 가즈나 동안 레인 거레스 동안 규사는 동안 레인 거레스 근데 계란 동안 되고 매나 동안 그규 아니 디그바딘 잠샤고 거레스 디그비 레치야딘 잠샤고 거레스
The Buddha Shakyamuni in general mentioned that about the non-virtuous activity, yeah. So we spoke previously about the 10 non-virtues, such as the refraining from killing, stealing, sexual misconduct, and so forth. So, but this is really coming from the perspective of where we said that it's not okay to engage in killing and stealing and so forth, because the reason is that based on this non-virtue, this is going to be a cause for our future unpleasant experiences. So since naturally we ourselves do not want to suffer or experience unpleasantness, we need to know that it's not okay. So the Buddha mentioned that it's not okay to actually create those causes for the future suffering. So this is why, and those causes of that future suffering is necessarily that of the non-virtue. So this is why we need to put a stop to that non-virtue.
Tirda, Tiza Kanji, Digba Pangori, Soya di, Karan Namba Inza, Karan Digba Pangori, and Tindi Kejeremados. Digba Pangoy, Ginza Karzana, Karan Dungan Dugumados. Karan Dunga Mendeva Najing, Dungan never Sogona, Karan Digba Pangores. Digba Pamatuna, Karan Dunga Mendishendu, Karan Dunga Ligres. This is Sungores, right?
So when we say abandon the negative virtue or the non-virtue, because we're Buddhist, it wasn't mentioned like that just because we're Buddhist, but it's actually due to the fact that we're not wanting to experience suffering and knowing that and understanding that the causes of that suffering is that of the non-virtue. So for these reasons that we do not actually want to experience suffering, that it is recommended that the non-virtue is abandoned.
Nanjingi, can Deva Duguyana, can Deva Duguyanza, Devi Gudru Gormado, Deva Yungumares. Devi Gudruyala, Gavachia de Remado, Gava Chevali lost Devi Gudru Suchik Yomares.
Likewise, we want to experience happiness and pleasant experiences, yeah? So the causes of those pleasant experiences and happiness are necessarily that of the virtuous karma or virtue, yeah? So there is no other cause to happiness and pleasant experiences other than virtue or virtuous activity.
Da Digba Panya dan, Gava Druviagi, and Kandas Digba Pangore, Digba Kandre, Kandas Gava Drugore, Gava Kandris Lawandi, that Domjan, Kazimigio Chu said, Digba Migio Chu, Digba Domjawandi, Digba Migio Chu, that so can Digba Migio Chu, Chiadi Pangore say. And that didn't that Digba Migio Chu Chia the Pambayana, T. Tosho Dilea, and gave what you deliveries. Give what you drubia, give what you drusena, Digbam give what you pansena, and it turned that chigboris.
So abandoning non-virtue and accomplishing virtuous activities. We can actually think of the 10 non-virtues as somewhat of a summary of this overall idea. So we can say to refrain from or abandon the 10 non-virtues, as an opposite to accomplish or practice the 10 virtues. But essentially, they're the same meaning, yeah?
The Rang la Deva Gugu Yovana, Rang la Deva Gugu Yovana, Devi Gudru Gores Laundi, Deva the call 10 illegres. Deva the call 10 illegres Laundi, Deva the Shanla 10 illegres. Shanla Madembar Rang Togi Deva Yung Suchi Yongyaji 7 in Yomares.
So oneself, we all want to experience that happiness, yeah? But what is the causes of those happiness or pleasant experiences? It depends on other, yeah? Where is it depending? It depends on other, yeah? So it's not something that can be accomplished independently. It needs to be depending on another.
다 셴라 때는 용고서 강 댄서기 셴라야 뇌치 마바나 셴 잠경 맞으나 아니 랑라 되기 용고 말이스.
So since it is depending on other, then we need to understand that we need to abandon harming that other. And likewise, we need to cultivate a sense of concern for that other.
특별한 간속이 신도당, 철마당, 지겨라단 드리글라 소바도 지고지야 안 딘디디 야부지 고고요나 아니 신가 모고 그러왔어. 신가 따고 그러왔어. 신가 따발야 신가디 비기 소종 야부지 맞잖아. 아니 신가라너야 로도 끼고 말아왔어. 로도 끼고 말았다. 신가디 다보 맞게 신가디려야 가서 다 잠경 소종 맞잖아. 신갈 때비 로도도 무용한 난신기 랑라구 대기 부숨 소바티 셴라 때니 총고간자 셴라야 잠경 치고 뭐도 셴라야 늦지 치바나 랑라 대기 좋아지 용고 말이스. 딘자 디범게 쭈빵고 그래서디 단다 디렌도 왔어.
For example, when we wish to get a good fruit, a good quality of fruit, or a good result from a specific type of tree, first off, we need to understand that the conditions in order for that good result to come needs to start in the field where the tree is located. So that field needs to be looked after. And in order for the good yield to come about, all of this needs to be looked after in a favorable way. So then, in order to get that fruit that we are wishing to enjoy, so in the same way, in order that we want to experience happiness and the pleasant situations, we need to look after and take care of that other. So whereas if we are harming other, then we're not going to be experiencing that good result. So this is the main meaning behind refraining from the 10 non-virtuous actions.
딘자 미기오추디 루다 나기 미기와 듄디 아니 쪼디 셴라야 뇌세 방야티 라 셴라야 뇌세 방야티 루다 나기 미기와 넘버 듄드레스 라 티치카토바나 셴라야 뇌세 방토그레스 티카토바나 아니 셴라야 잠경 체마투야기 다슈 용구마레스 라
Of the 10 non-virtuous activities, there's 3 of the body and 3 of the body and 4 of the speech. So 7 altogether, of the body and speech. So of those 7 non-virtuous activities, these are mostly in relation to the harming others, So if we were able to abandon, stop, or refrain the harm of others, in particular of these body and speech, then we're able to develop that sense of concern. Whereas if we're not able to abandon or refrain from our body and speech, then that sense of concern for others is not going to be able to be cultivated.
그러다 룽아기 레드 미기위 레드 까야 딜리 야가지 아니 소소 송겹 지야기 아니 탑람지 요사 말이스 라 룽아기 레드 까가 바이나 디다 아니 소소 송겹다 마소나 야부 쇼치 라 삼바남다 기 아니 지비 셴라야 뇌세 빵바이나 라 셴라야 뇌세 빵바이나 디기 다 탈동원디 소소 송겹 약슈디 디차고 와서레스 샹라야 가주스기 뇌세 방바이나 뒤쪽이 샹라야 잠경 차그래 샹라야 가주스기 잠경 쳐바이나 뒤쪽이 소수 수 잠경 칭이 망을 내고레스 아
If we are able to refrain from those negative virtues that are related to the body and speech, then really that there is no better method other than refraining from the negativities of the negativities related to body and speech. So even if there was, with as simply just with a good heart, then we refrain, from those negative actions. Really, the best method for that is to think explicitly about in terms of our body and speech. So, however much we're able to refrain from those physical and speech negativities, then that much we're able to develop a sense of concern, for others. So whereas if we don't have that sense of concern for others, then this is not going to come about without refraining from these negativities in relation to body and speech. And in that way, we'll be able to, based on that refraining, we'll be able to cultivate a more of a sense of loving concern for others.
그들이 당 이기 넘었음디 나슴 노슴 로다슴야 가주스기 까바 뒤쪽이 아니 룽아기 레든 가야디 부타르야 아니 참마세 수수 샘감이 있나야 아니 하장게 가서다 시신 들어와 샘 하장기 시디 용야디야 나셈 노셈로 소바 로다로 소바 디드 바지 뇽탄토 바이나 아니 샘 투야기에 아니 차당 몬সম로 소바 아니 디디 뇽 조여자 아니 샘 투야기 주진디 뇽 조인디 샘 만투치 샘 렐레진 데디 아니 고급드 만 조거레스
Of the third, that are the mental non-virtuous activities that are coveting what other people have and taking pleasure in others' misfortunes and wrong views. So out of these three, we can think that the non-virtues or the virtuous activities of body and speech are actually going to become a better quality, They're going to be improved based on these three of refraining from the coveting what other people have, taking pleasure in other people's misfortunes and wrong views. So in that way, based on these last three, refraining from the last three mental non-virtues, our mind is going to be able to become a lot more peaceful and a lot more calm, So based on the reduction of those three mental reduction on the mental negativities. And on that way, based on those reduction of the mental negativities, our desire, attachment, and ignorance are also going to be reduced, And then we'll have a lot less disturbed or afflicted mental continuum, So based on this less afflicted or disturbed mind, then we'll have more opportunities to generate a sense of concern for others.
간신 수동바이나 아니 미기와 주방비 또비기 소수기 르가 이익섬디 박배부라 시신 들어와 소구여바디 야시자단 말이에요.
So in brief, you can say that based on restraining from the 10 non-virtuous activities, that our body, speech, and mind will most definitely become relaxed and a lot more calm.
다 간술 여비 류가 이익숨기 디 시신 도와 차와이나 아니 텔 템비기 nga 세디 아니 시신 도와 임바로스 기부차에 임바레스로
So, based on our body, speech, and mind becoming relaxed, then that sense of self is also becoming relaxed and experiencing happiness.
딘자 nga 대화 존나 치마로 something nga 동아 치 마주마쇼 something 라 기다 개우지 임바이나 아 대화 드슬다 동아 세주디 아니 메기와추 파니 게와추 탄드 렘바 레 사가치 아 게와 대화 드슬치 다 동아 세주치 힐리 사가치 요사 말이에스
So, the sense of thinking that, oh, it's not okay for me to experience happiness, or it's not okay for me to feel a sense of suffering. So, based on this thought, we can actually very clearly understand that the practice of abandoning or refraining from the 10 non-virtuous activities and in turn taking up the 10 virtuous activities, this is really going to be a method for us to remove our suffering and to accomplish one's happiness, the things that we are wishing for. Yeah. So really, there's no other method that it's going to be more useful in order to accomplish what we want.
딘자 산지 송나로야 디고 빵고그레스 게워 두고레스 아 디고 치에지 게워 푸숨 쳐버치
Kailan, anda, kailan di mic di yoso. Kengi mic.
라
Kengi mic this tadewa sorada. Yes. Thank you. Yeah, sorada.
커서
Oh, yeah. 네, 이러주면서 이렇게 충충 차서.
아니 건다
Yeah.
sorry
Okay. That's 간다.
안 산지기 아 디고 치에 메차시 게워 푸숨 쳐버치 송라 게워 주 디고 마치스 산지 송네 디요레스 데 디요레스라
So this is the purpose of what the Buddha Shakyamuni said when he mentioned abandon unwholesome activity and accomplish the wholesome activity.
딘자 당한주기 비기기 가서다 아 산지 강 송바델이야 아니 균생 가르치 토니 갑종 가르치 토니 아니 마치 송도 야 균생 가르치 토니 최고로 송도 디 남주기 섬단 거야 빼마세고 개정을 했어
Okay. For us, it's actually very important to consider the purpose, the reasoning, the intent of why the Buddha says such things.
갑깔랑 남주기 디버 마치 송디게 디버 제 초고 말이 송약 소리다 그거 알아서라 산지기 제 초고 말했어야지 제 초고 말했어야 sikdi 산지기 송나와야 빈윤용레스 제 초고 말했어야지 제 초도 무척서야지 초고 말했어야 라비아기 톱단디 아니 미치라 요야디 백하고레스 그러와 아주 초도 맞췄어야지 따지당기 팀 그러와 팀디 미치기 팀 소야기 톱단디 미치라 연구 말아왔어
So, when the Buddha Shakyamuni mentioned, do not do any unwholesome activity, then we can take this to understand that we're not allowed. We do not have permission to do so. Yeah. So actually, this word of not allowed or do not have the permission to do so is actually very literal within the Buddha's teaching. It's not mentioned much at all. So when we think about allowed and not allowed, so this is what we can understand in terms of if one person has the right to do so, to grant permission or not. So does one person have the right to give that permission or say allowed or not allowed? You can really think that you can understand that is a rule. Yeah. So it's actually very difficult for one person over another to say that one is allowed to do something or not. This is very difficult. Yeah. That's no.
아니 톱당디 연구 말어 들어 미치고야 아니 팀 소약이 톱당디 요 말어 와스 아 미치고야 팀 소약 톱당디 요 말어 와스
So the other person does not have the right, yeah, to make a rule over another person.
그러나 야급지기 팀병인 바이네야 팀병인 바이네야 콜레야 팀 서버 소약이 톱당 요 말어 와스 그라 요 말어 와스
So really it does not have a right to make any new laws. Yeah. So one nation is really not able to have the right to instigate any new laws.
인바이네야 비 팀 그나를 칸 커버디 시송기 아니 게제시에 톱당디 팀별로 여러 와서라 디캬는 제는 디마리 팀된 게도그리 팀문나는 디여스라브스니 팀츠 롱렌치니 아니 제 초고 말했은 라비아기 톱당디 빈 팀별로 여러 와서라
So, for example, if there's discussion within the lawmakers, and that is coming about through back and forth discussions, then there is a laying out of what is legal and what is illegal, what is allowed to do and what is not allowed to do. So this is the work of the politicians. Yeah.
디난신기 가서다 간주 레균데세디 팀 소르즈레스 레균데디 로 팀레스 더 레균데 시송기 아니 라렌 따지니 아니 산지 컴퍼니 되는데 산지 좀 된데리 다디 더 팀뱅 소르지 로 피게다 팀딘 레균데기 팀디 아니 진경칭에 소르지 디바 아니 만솔라파 아니 레균데기 팀들이 그런 디지널 레균데기 팀단 게로그리 지금 말했으니 아니 랍퉁인디 레균데 온숨도 또댕인게 아니 깨부드 차고한자 산지 티다 삽다우디 전송교라서 간솔라
In the same way, we can think about the presentation on the law of cause and effect, and we can understand the law of cause and effect as that type of law. Yeah. So cause and effect, when we're understanding our own practice, we can take the law of cause and effect as our basis, as our foundation. So the Buddha was the one that understood this presentation on the law of cause and effect as a law, yeah, and described and advised us and others according to his law, based on his direct understanding of the law of cause and effect. So the Buddha was able to speak in terms of what is in accord with the cause and effect, and also what is opposite in accord with the cause and effect. So this is the way that the Buddha described to us according to cause and effect, or karma.
다 레균적인 팀디 어나 수수를 세바나 산직 수보 말이스. 레균적인 팀디 산직 수보 말이와스.
So if you ask, who made this law of cause and effect? Yeah, was it the Buddha? So the Buddha didn't make this law of cause and effect up.
디 레균적인 팀디 더 춘예세들이스. 춘예세. 비기 무비 내룩당 무비 내룩지 쓴거레스. 레균적인 팀세데 빼나 간주기 사잘라야로 차바당 니마샤르 두 세바나 살아야 짜기기로 왔어. 그라 사간라야 추말레 니마마샤나 사간라야 짜기요 말왔어. 사간라 짜기에도 수직 sö교 말왔어. 그라 그란종 감 춘이제로 왔어. 그라 차바당 니마샤르 짜기 아니 차바체 아니 도시온디 짜감 줘야지 그란종 감 춘이제레 말도 디미지고 sö에서 그게 말왔어.
The law of cause and effect is actually a very natural, exists in a natural way. So it's the fundamental natural way of all functioning things. So this is what the law of cause and effect is. So for example, we can take a place where there is rain and sun. And within the rain and sun, then on that basis, we can see grass growing. Yeah. So without that rain and sun and other conditions, that grass is not going to be growing. It's not that somebody went and placed that grass, but it's based on all the rain and sun and other conditions for the grass to grow. So it's not something that is man-made, but it's something that is a natural arising.
디자 비기다 춘이인자 춘이든 tum비기로 춘이든 tum비기 간주기 자와제 마투바이나 아니 노드로요레스 미 쇠바이나 다 미 쇠바이나 노드로요레스로
So if we think of we have an understanding of this natural way that things exist, then whatever activity that we're going to be engaging in need to be in accord or concordant with that natural way of things existing. So if we think that if it's man-made, that's something that is being made by a human, then this is a mistaken idea.
미 농주 간다시 서거레슬라운디 누스 라그도스라 미 농주 간다시 서거스데 미기 아니 란종 감기에 베나 싱타우디 뚜브니로 싱뚜브니 란종 감기 신나 뚜브니 아니 쇼그 서거레스 베나 쇼그 서거레스 쇼그 서치 쇼그 간라야 란종 감기 신나 뚜브나 쿠이글 뉴그레스 라브체니 아니 쇼그간의 티니 캡다치기요라스
So we think about a human mistake, yeah, or a human conceptual mistake. That thinking, for example, is cutting down a whole forest of trees in order to make paper, yeah. And then we write on that paper, having cut down the trees and making the paper, we write on that paper. Actually, it's a mistake to cut down trees in order to, write on that paper. So this is a mistaken, so human behavior mistake.
제자 아니 수샤교 될야 가바지요레스 간다지요레스로 수샤교디 간다지 그 수용디 그 콜롱디 피 네루다 톰바치 소마두디 콜레양 가시근 가바지 레기도 왔으로.
So you can understand that there's by cutting down the trees in order to make paper and then writing on the paper, it's a mistake to cut down trees. You can see that this behavior is actually conflicting behavior. Yeah. So you can understand that the motivation of what they wish to do is actually not clearly being reflected in those actions.
인스 산지 가디 송바이나야 가리 송바이나야 네룩 비게 아니 네룩 실라샤니 무여 네츠 실라샤니 아니 대든 튼비게 아니 상로 땅땅 자와체당지 송야 마도 네룩다 민튼비게 랍자지 산지 뒤나면 송고 말했어 가서 네룩 원숨도 또 봐인사
The Buddhist Shakyamuni was really understanding from the perspective of the natural way that things exist and was able to base his advices and activities that is going to be concomitant or in accord with the natural way that things are existing. Yeah. So within the Buddha's advices and teachings, you're not going to be seeing any sort of conflicting advices that are going to be discordant with the natural way that things existing, because the Buddha was realized the way of the reality.
Is
the person that was here that had the question previously, is he here? Yep. We'll just get the mic over. Are you the one that was asking about whether eating meat? The question about eating meat?
Yes.
Yes, great.
And it was our years.
Do you have a new question that you'd like to add additionally?
No, I think it was pretty well answered on Friday.
Can you just say that again, please?
Okay, so the question on Friday was we were talking about the harm and the negative karma created by killing animals. And my question really was, does that imply that the Buddha clearly stated that the whole human race should effectively, because of that, be vegetarians, and that under no circumstances should we eat meat of any kind?
Yeah. Okay. Geshe 대화 가르래잖아. 아니 상계 점된되기 아니 서 뭐죄배 갈라부송이로와 아니 디페 Dipa imbe kimsinki, any Mikiwi lady sape kimsinki, nos his semtion this hot church yamares. Soon, any day, any me samalo, conda, me samalo, ra, sambling gala, me samalo, any shame kala sana, any what's her shame kala, sa gorepe. Sampling me samalo, ni shame kala, injimenchi sagores, tiwatire.
디 송구요 말이스. 이 송구요 말이스.
So, in answer, he didn't say like that.
간사나 다들 지단 깨집에 망부차가 도스로. 안서 깨지 디스 짜마친 시에마투바이나 짜마친 마시에바이나 안주 코노르 태약 고 노리약이 년가치가 도스.
So actually we can think in general that there is a lot of discussion about this topic here. But if we don't have a clear, good understanding of this topic, then there is a big danger of developing a mistaken idea.
상기기 샤사 초그레스 송고야기 균zen 레고 말이스. 샤사 초그레스 샤사 고레스니 까미디아 송요 말이스. 사원님 다 송고 말이스 송요 말이스. 양키랑기 샤사 초그 말이스. 그냥 송요 말이스.
So the Buddha Shakyamuni didn't say that you are allowed to eat meat. And also the Buddha Shakyamuni didn't say you're not allowed to eat meat.
디 초고 말했으니 무송에 가르랬으나 무초약이 균생지 걸어왔어. 무초약이 균생한테 단지 쉬어나지 아니 배나 안준 단지 롱 야컵 디기 팀병인 바나 팀낭 디어리 캐란 디치는 지금 말이 팀당 게로르세 균생지 걸어 사 초고 말했어야기 초고 말했을 라바나 텔 균생지 고그레스 무초고 균생지 고그레스 디요 말했어 다 잠시 봐나
So when we think of the Buddha said that when we think of the Buddha asking that we think about that the Buddha did not say not to eat meat, yeah. Whereas if we think that if somebody is not allowed to do something, yeah, we need to have a reason, yeah. There needs to be a reason behind not being able to do something, to not be allowed to do something. So like we mentioned earlier, we can speak in terms of a country's laws. Usually those laws are based on a particular reason in order to not do something here, to not be allowed to do something. So really, there is no particular reason to not be allowed to eat meat, yeah? So if you mention truthfully that there really is no reason that the Buddha gave not to eat meat.
네, 가이스나 샬라 릭니 용거로스. 샬라 릭니 용거레스. 아니 찍디 베나 심진 땅안주 찍 돈들어 써봐. 비게 시송와지. 그러 미기 속 제샤 마이바. 미기 세샤 마이바. 코랑기 찍 란싱기 시송이게 아니 샤기 릭지어로스. 디기 샤디 배주 제바야나 아니 속살아야 네비 가샤디 요마르와스 속살아 네비 가샤디 요마르와스 네바네 디 리기 샤디 삼 무초야기 삼 무롱야기 균세 요마르스 베나간주 추동 나 추동 릉구여라스 아니 지 nötse maybe simjenla nötse maybe kala khaimba rigdi nganzo sa rungu yorwas ro did the chigbaris
For example, when we think in terms of meat, in general, we can make two categories of meat. The two types of categories, for example, when the animals and etc., if they have died of natural causes, yeah, and then if we use those animals that have died from natural causes that haven't been killed by a human, for example, then that animal has not experienced any harm. Huh? And then because of that not experiencing any harm and dying of natural causes, then there's no reason to say that it's not suitable to eat that meat. Yeah. So we can say that it is suitable to eat that type of meat.
Tayang sha rigchigdi bigigi sosu sha sayak chedo simjin shengi seso choksheni sha sayadi nötse dan dreba yinza shenla never nötse gi chawa chaganza shenla never tamayna dewa dengej da dunga mendengej ngoni shenla never tamayna sosu gi bigi döden dan gawa chagyo banza 사 rungu mundus ro sanji sa chogo mari sungo mar sa rungu mundus ti 사바 얘네 캐랑 내가 나신 이제 줍두고 문도 스티 디송도 왔으라
Right. The second type of meat is that something that is being assisted by an action that has been caused to it. Yeah. So it's something that the animal has had to experience harm, and the wish of the animal, like your wish, is something that needs to avoid harm and experience happiness and pleasure. So based on this second type of meat that has been assisted with this type of meat is actually not suitable to be eaten. But the Buddha never said it's not allowed. You're not allowed to eat meat. You don't have permission to eat it. But it's actually just unsuitable to be eaten, because in the same way that you wish to be free from suffering and experience happiness, the animal at the same time wasn't able to accomplish its wish of avoiding suffering and experiencing happiness. So this is what the Buddha said, that it's not suitable to eat this meat.
디즈다 산지 갈송 거스라운디기 소수 디기 주비하기 톱당디 소수소설 요레스 소착 사말로야 소수 동ар 세야기 톱당디 소수소설 요레스 소수 디기 기체도 셴란 뇌세 땅에 톱당디 수직을 요 말이스 니 나랑 디기 주비하기 체도 계란란 뇌세 땅 와이나 디 톱당디 나를 요 말이스 딘자 아니 가르쳐다 디 고하든 가서 라고도 쓰라 소수기 디기 체도 셴란 뇌세 땅에 톱당디 소수를 매바인자 톱당 매비기 차와지 제바이는 디 dig 말이세야디 먼저 하고 고도 아스라
So the Buddha mentioned in that everything that we're striving for ourselves personally is looking for our own happiness, yeah, and our own purpose. So we think about in terms of one person causing harm to another in order to gain our own happiness. This is something that is not suitable. Yeah. So we really don't have the right over another's life force in order to make ourselves happy. Yeah. We really don't have that right in order to harm others in order to accomplish our own happiness. So this is something that we need to understand, that whether or not that we have the right, yeah. And if we don't have the right, whether it's okay or not to actually harm others in order to accomplish our own happiness. Did you get a clear answer to your question?
Yes, I did. Thank you very much.
Great.
That's good. Thank you. 내가 그러면 마음을 쉬어야겠어요. 이제 다 사냥한 아무데 지체였어요.
Okay. So tomorrow, today we've had a little bit of conversation, but then tomorrow we'll have a question from the lady in the audience also.
Hi, I must have missed something, but what are the 10 virtues?
Gewa ju kare yore ningante sabo komasongsa.
니케랑 교고죠. 내가 기어주디 독서디 기어주래스. 속제바 방와 마지막 방와 아니 로용 방와 아니 준 방와 참아 방와 수수 방와 아니 lokta 방와 나선 방와 어디 방바디 기어주래스. 디 제바디 미기어주래스로 디 교고죠 말씀드리라.
So the whatever virtues, the 10 virtues are unnecessarily something that are abandoning the 10 non-virtues. So abandoning, killing, stealing, sexual misconduct, lying, divisive speech, harsh words, idle gossip, covetousness, taking pleasure in other people's misfortunes, and wrong views. So the refraining or the abandoning of all of these are going to be, and practicing the opposite of those is that of the 10 virtues.
Thank you.
안간도 사바산들라고 사바산들랑 간도 제초가 제초치스.
So this Friday, we can have a question and answer session on this Friday coming.
Sorry.
Sorry. Okay. Do you need me to screen share?
라.
A screen share check what it. Lamrim?
물론
Is that right? Yeah.
사바산을 듣는 디그리라서 날 밀 투게 시키에.
So is it okay if we have questions on Friday? I have somebody to meet.
야. 이거서 지야.
Thank you. I won't be here Friday. So
Oh, okay.
my question is in regards to the question about vegetarianism, actually. Oh, can you hear me well?
Yes.
Then? Okay.
Yes.
His Holiness the Dalai Lama banned meat from the monasteries, but the dairy and egg industries are the meat industry. They are the result of the non-virtues of body, as you were discussing, sexual misconduct, stealing and killing of both the mother and her baby. This only happens due to attachment to transitory taste pleasure and ignorance in not knowing the reality of these industries from our side. So once we do realize what happens and educate ourselves, how is it that veganism is not the default in Buddhist communities, particularly in light of the chain of causality?
That's quite a complex question. If it's all right, if I could summarize briefly. Yes. So, Gisela, Gawaran Bicheki, and Kompa La, and Shame, Tim Serne, and Shame Gikala Serne, Gong down, Simpson Lechembeki Kala, the young Tim Sona Yabure, Kainsana, Gong down the Lecheme La Sopa, the young the Kare, the Tabaki Simpson Nugure, any Karechene, Sange Chamden Degi, Gallop, any Simpson Nube, Kala Karina Young, Karechene Tim, Yana, Yawarimpe Tim, so your maripe.
팀수요 말이베.
semchen nöbe kala karina yang gongha la sopa oma la sopa chura la sopa. These samlo semchen nögiyures di double lapsong pomaki. Then kare cheneng as his sange chamdinte di sami rung ra and a gauram bichi sami rung kare cheneng dis nikalop nang marepe.
nga siu shere cha ma so yi mai na nga siu shere ko ma so ina ya 단지 semchen nebi chawa kandajiya 아니 대원 등엔지다 등함 문등이 지인바나 셴라 네비기 차와 간다지인바나야 칼라그지인바나자 아니 지 가리그지인바나 네비 차와 참마 빵고 그래서 송여레스.
So the Buddha actually mentioned that whatever type of activity that is going to be harming, then whatever it's in terms of eating or other activity, it is the Buddha did recommend to refrain from that activity. Geshe, I didn't understand. I didn't hear the question so well. I tried to, but yeah. But in general, you can say that any activity that is causing harm, is recommended to not engage in.
Okay, thank you.
제 간스는 정말 렘비 갑둘이야. 셴라 네버 시단 제바 셴라 네버 시단 제바 dombiga dombasilago 그래서 셴라 네버 제바 샤니 네버 용사기 규견이 체니 안 참아가고 그래서 간스는 소수기 대기 포좀 써봐준 되고 여봐나 셴라 네버 시단 제바 dom발라 때니 아니 대기 포좀 써봐준 용거를 마도 셴바 대기 용사기 시자이니요 말이에요.
So even if we are able to refrain from those things that are causes, that conditions of others to suffer, then we're not able, where it's not recommended to engage in those things, So because we ourselves are wanting a good quality of pleasant experience and happiness, so if we engage in even the conditions that contribute to the harm of others, then that level of happiness, that good quality of happiness, is not going to be coming about.
Thank you.
그렇잖아.
Yes, thank you.
그렇지라서 먼저 다들이야. Okay.
Okay.
Thank you.
All right. Do you want me to put the lamrim on?
Can you put that up on the screen, please?
Is the lamrim?
Lamrim, final lamrim dedication.
Final lamrim. Okay. Just have to. Oh, I'm in the wrong book. Sorry. What page in the retreat prayer book? What page would that be?
339.
339. Let me go down. That's at the
Right.
end.
For those in the Gompa, the one on the screen may be slightly different from the one that I'm reading from this book.
Let me just
They're different. One's an update on the other.
Yes, okay, got it. Share. Okay, and 339 you said.
Yes.
339. Okay, just 39, a little bit more. 370. 310 more. Okay, 339. Okay, great. Thanks.
Can you make
Thanks
that
for-
a little bit bigger?
Yep, sure I can. How's that?
Bit more?
Enough?
Thank you. Can you make it full screen?
No,
Okay.
yeah,
I
sorry.
might start and you can follow along as best you can.
Okay, great.
From my two types of
하늘의
merits,
집에
vast space that I have amassed from working with effort at this practice for a great length of time, may I become the chief leading Buddha for all those whose minds' wisdom eye is blinded by ignorance. Even if I do not reach this state, may I be held in your loving compassion for all lives, Manjushri. May I find the best and complete graded paths of the teachings, and may I please all Buddhas by my practice. Using skillful means drawn by the strong force of compassion, may I clear the darkness from the minds of all beings. With the points of the path that I have, as I have discerned them, may I uphold the Buddha's teachings for a very long time. With my heart going out with great compassion, in whatever direction the most precious teachings have not yet spread, or once spread have declined, may I reveal this treasure of happiness and aid. May the minds of those who wish for liberation be granted bounteous peace, and the Buddha's deeds be nourished for a long time. By even this graded path to enlightenment completed due to the wondrous virtuous conduct of the Buddhas and their sons. May all human and non-human beings who eliminate adversity and create conducive conditions for practicing the excellent paths never be parted in any of their lives from the purest path praised by the Buddhas. Whenever someone makes effort to act in accordance with the tenfold Mahayana virtuous practices, may he also be assisted by the mighty ones, and may oceans of prosperity spread everywhere. Thank you, Geshe.